The Chancellor and my housemates, 208 graduates, I still remember you. And when I saw you, I said, okay, we'll graduate together. Thanks to the Vice Chancellor. My dear friend, how are you? I realized that you are in good hands. You know that, so thank you very much. Okay, very, very well. The distinguished ministers of state here present, the members of the diplomatic corps here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is with unqualified pleasure and a deep sense of historical purpose that I join you today in beautiful Barbados. At this renowned institution, the University of West Indies, Cable Campus, my university, to return to the Caribbean, a place so dear to my heart and so inextricably linked to the ties of history to my Asantehene and the African continent, is an inspiring moment that stirs the soul. I bring you warm greetings from the government and people of Ghana, including your kith and kin in the multi-ethnic Asante Kingdom. I still cherish the memory of receiving an honorary doctorate, a Doctor of Laws LLD degree from this esteemed university some 17 years ago, an honor that deepened the bond between the Golden Stool and the Caribbean people. We have gathered here today for a momentous occasion, the GUBA Awards 2025, being held under the inspiring and paramount theme, Reclaiming Our Atlantic Destiny, Connect, Build, and Renew. This theme is not merely a powerful set of words or slogan, it is a mission, a solemn call to action that resonates deeply with the spirits of our ancestors and the aspirations of our present and future generations. The theme is also an eloquent reflection of the Pan-African vision championed by leaders like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, which proudly carried the torch of united Africa with its diaspora scattered around the world. Inescapable recognition that the destinies of Africa and the Caribbean are intertwined, sharing an unbreakable link in our DNA. Going down the memory lane, we can readily recall that 400 years ago, the Atlantic Ocean has been viewed primarily as the root of a painful past, a symbol of separation and sorrow, division and displacement. While we must never forget to overlook the pre- and post-emancipation physical, psychological, and social effects of colonialism, we must today look at the same ocean which carried away our kinsmen and kinswomen as a bridge and conduit that connects us, the shared waterway of a global African family. Our shared history is a testament to the indomitable African spirit, an enduring legacy that if you kill 1,000, 1,000 will storm back. Our shared heritage binds us in an enduring spirit of resilience and an unyielding quest for dignity and self-determination. Today, we convene at a pivotal moment to begin the process of reconnecting the threads of our shared history. It is time for us to consciously and strategically reclaim our shared destiny, mounting beyond mere sentimentality to pragmatic and tangible cooperation. In our bid to reclaim our Atlantic destiny, the theme gives us three categorical imperatives. We must connect, build, and renew. The first important step of our mission is to connect, to break the divide between Africa and the African diaspora. This means fostering stronger ties, not just at the governmental level, but through academic exchange, cultural immersion, and people-to-people interactions. We must break the silence that has surrounded our shared history and actively strive to build the unbreakable bridge that has been missing for centuries. Acknowledging and confronting our painful past will enable us to overcome the trauma caused by enslavement, colonialism, and its attendant racism. So, we all recognize that getting to the mother continent from the Caribbean and vice versa can be complicated, with travelers often forced to fly into Europe. So, while a direct flight can take a shorter time and will be more convenient, no wonder our gracious host, the Honorable Miyamoto, was rightly and proudly described herself as a daughter of Africa. Where there's a will, there's a way. God helps those who help themselves. One of these two common sayings is that with determination and perseverance, we can overcome what may seem insurmountable challenges. An initiative like the direct flight from Africa and the Caribbean, which is long overdue, can turn geographic proximity into genuine connectivity and promote cultural tourism. And that is why the direct flight from Accra to Bridgetown, organized in connection with GUBA Awards 2025, deserves our commendation and emulation. We can also focus on education by utilizing our educational institutions to build bridges and educate people about Africa within the Caribbean communities and vice versa. And I think this afternoon I've been introduced to two of them here, bridging the gap there. It is also possible to promote cultural collaboration by facilitating partnerships between cultural figures such as musicians and writers. It should be possible for us to encourage diaspora-led initiatives through supporting community-based knowledge sharing led by the diaspora in areas like health, agriculture, and finance. So, I commend this university for contributing to driving this process, for recognizing what we must reconnect in Africa, with Africa, the mother continent, not just an intellectual engagement, but as nations and people. So, if you all favor reconnecting Africa and the Caribbean, then we should have the courage to admit that the construction of the bridge constitutes an unfinished bridge, which we must hurriedly complete to enable us to translate the partnership into reality for the mutual benefit of our people. So, let me confess that I keep returning to the Caribbean islands, albeit always in response to invitations extended to me, simply because I see myself as someone on a larger mission, the noble mission of contributing my quota towards fostering, broadening, and cementing the growing relations between Africa and the Caribbean and between Africa and its diaspora. So, this mission, as we all recognize, is not going to be an event. It may be a long and tortuous process. So let us rekindle the spirit of our forefathers who, in the face of oppression, humiliation, and indignities unparalleled in history, showed resilience, determination, and perseverance to survive and thrive. So, viewed from a historical perspective, the underlying current of the theme is not new. We can recall that in reference to the experiences of the slave trade, oppression, and racial discrimination, some famous individuals of African descent, such as Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and Martin Luther King Jr., all advocated that Africans and in extension all people of African descent need to reconnect and, if possible, join a giant sovereign union of a single socio-political, economic, and cultural identity. So, they emphasized that the need for African descendants to work together to transform the paradigm of centuries of discrimination and leverage the continental political union in international relations. So, as if to follow up on this grand vision of African unity, in 2006, the Constitutive Act of the AU was amended to include the African diaspora as the sixth region of the continent, the others being Central, Eastern, Northern, Southern, and Western regions of Africa. So, the Act defined the African diaspora to include the people of African region living outside the continent. irrespective of their citizenship and nationality, and who are willing to contribute to the development of the continent and the building of the African Union. So, the article manifests an official recognition of the role of African diaspora, irrespective of historical migration, as either forced or voluntary pre-slave trade, slave trade, post-slave trade, and modern migration, in advancing the Pan-African philosophy through the development or rebuilding of Africa and African heritage. So, already, some Afro-pessimists and scientists have described the AU South region as a coded language for what they call Africans who have migrated and are living outside Africa. We should not allow ourselves to continue to be divided. For me, this is not a mere symbolic designation. It is a living and breathing opportunity for political, economic, and cultural revival. So, we should leverage the AU designation and initiative to connect Africa and its diaspora, irrespective of where they are, when and how they got to their present location. So, by our calculation, this will amount to about 350 million people of African descent, which translates into the third biggest population in the world if all the African diaspora could be considered as living in one country. So, people of African descent, both within and outside of mother continent, do not only share a common history or heritage, but more complexly share a common destiny that transcends historical prejudices. There are promising prospects on the horizon. Africa is now moving into full accelerated implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, arguably the best decision made by African heads of government in 6 decades. This treaty has the power not only to revolutionize African trade and development, but also to equip African countries with stronger negotiating power in multilateral areas, thereby boosting their collective ability to change the terms of global trade closer African-Caribbean trade relations group to be mutually beneficial. The third and imperative component of our mission is to renew. To renew is to reshape our future, informed by the lessons of the past. We must renew our shared purpose and identity. The challenges of racial inequality, discrimination, and the lingering efforts of our history require a renewed sense of pride and collective action. This is about revitalizing our people in our African heritage, embracing the indomitable spirit that allowed our ancestors not just to survive, but to thrive against all odds. So, we must use our cultural heritage as a foundation for a stronger future, ensuring that traditional wisdom is integrated into modern governance and national development. So, the goal must be to forge unity amid our cultural diversities, recognizing the harmony in our shared experience. This renewed spirit will empower us to stand tall and face the future with confidence and integrity. So, the challenges we face today, from economic development to climate change, require a united front. So, as an African proverb wisely states, if you want to go fast, go alone. So, if you want to go far, go together. So, our destiny across the Atlantic is not a foregone conclusion. It's about what we choose to make of it. Let us work together to ensure the Atlantic no longer symbolizes a barrier, but rather a vibrant living connection, an unbreakable break between our people. By choosing to connect, build, and renew, we can create a powerful global Africa that takes its rightful place on the world stage. So, let us see this glorious opportunity to work together, to support each other, and to ensure a prosperous future for all our people. So, the time for action is now. I will end with mind-bending quotes from 2 Greek philosophers. The first, from Heraclitus, says, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and it's not the same man." So, this is the philosophy of constant flux. Once one steps into the river, the water touches swirls away. As for the man, his awareness, thoughts, and feelings change carefully. Time can't be stopped or retained. The world is constantly moving, constantly changing. Africa and its diaspora have to move with the times. So, the second from Epictetus says, first say to yourself what you will be, and then do what you have to do. It means as individuals, or in this context, as countries and regions, we are required to intentionally choose goals and values. In short, we should not just drift through life. If we choose a goal or have a vision, then we should follow that vision. In short, we need to pursue vigorously and expeditiously our union of global Africa with one voice on the world stage. May God bless our determined efforts to connect, build, and renew. Thank you very much.